and welcome to the Autism Resources Kawartha podcast. I'm Matt Garrity, and I'm so happy to be here with you. In this episode, I sit down with Ashley, a parent and advocate whose life has been deeply shaped by autism, from growing up with her Aunt Sarah Jane to parenting her recently diagnosed son. Ashley opens up about her early experiences living with a family member with autism, how her mother's compassion taught her patience and advocacy, and how those lessons came from full circle as she navigated her own son's diagnosis. The conversation dives into the emotional journey of parenting a neurodivergent child, from recognizing early signs and advocating through the healthcare system, to balancing school struggles, meltdowns, and the power of understanding over judgment. Ashley also shares her own experiences with ADHD and dyslexia, offering an honest look at how neurodiversity runs through generations and shapes the way she connects with her kids. Now parenting in a blended family with her partner, whose daughter is also autistic, Ashley reflects on the beauty and chaos of raising 4 children in a household that celebrates differences while learning every day what support truly means. The Autism Resources Kawartha podcast is a series of unscripted conversations with local autistic people and the people who love them right here in Kawartha Lakes. As we approach the end of Season 1, I wanted to sincerely thank everyone who listened and supported us. If you or someone you know may be interested in being a guest on the podcast, or you want to sponsor the podcast next season, let us know. In the meantime, continue to follow and subscribe. This podcast couldn't be possible without the support of Cardinal Home Services. Thank you so much. Check them out at cardinalhome.ca. Now, finally, enjoy this conversation with Ashley. So what's your experience with autism?
Oh, yes. It started off very young. My mom has a stepsister who has autism. So when I was growing up, her stepsister lived with us and she had autism. So I kind of had to grow up learning how to adapt with that as well. I didn't really know anything about it. My mom didn't really talk to me about it growing up. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm taking on this responsibility. And being an only child, I was like, okay, well, she's kind of more like my sister than like an aunt. Because of the age difference, she always thought of me, like her name is Sarah. Sarah Jane. She is the sweetest angel in the world. She's so sweet, talks to me all the time. She's like, hi, Ashley, how are you doing? But when there's times where I would have to watch Sarah Jane, but it would almost be like she was watching me because she knew how our age difference was. Yeah. But then also my oldest, William, he's 9 now. He just got his autism diagnosis very recently, actually, which I always forget how recent it was. It was August of last year of 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's still fresh.
Yes, very fresh. Even though I've lived with it and had to experience him going through these steps to get the autism diagnosis. I always kind of knew, or I started seeing the signs that he had autism.
Yeah.
But with everything with healthcare and the steps to get the diagnosis, when I got it, I'm like, okay, I always forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I have had the diagnosis forever. No, he didn't have the diagnosis forever. And then obviously, my partner, Jamie, her oldest, Maisie, is also autistic as well. So it makes it's a very dynamic experience with everyone.
Yeah. So Sarah Jane.
Yes.
Was she diagnosed?
Yes.
With, would have been Asperger's even?
Yeah, I think it was originally Asperger's originally.
Yeah.
Because I think she's in her late 40s now.
Sure.
So back then they weren't really, it wasn't a common thing, or it was still very unrecognized almost.
Right.
So when my mom took over care for her, because my mom worked in nursing and PSW, so when it came to okay, where is Sarah Jane going to live, my mom took over that care for her. And we had the space in the house, so it was just something that my mom was like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which was very nice of her. And then my mom kind of took her to medical doctors, just to get a full understanding of what she'll actually have to do with Sarah Jane. Because at first it was just seeing her randomly with her stepmom at the time, just trying to understand, okay, I'm taking over full guardianship of this full grown woman, which is also hard on its own, because you don't want to take her independence away.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I don't actually believe it's this. I think it might be autism. So she actually went along with the steps of getting Sarah Jane the proper diagnosis that she needed, which actually helped in the long run because now she's in a long-term care facility and she's living her best life.
Yeah. So she couldn't have lived independently when she was younger, but now she can, or at least in that home.
Yeah. Like even like when I lived with her, like when she lived in our house, she was very independent at the time, but there was things like obviously she couldn't work a stove or an oven. Like there's things that she was very, she didn't have a lot of rules growing up. I don't know if it was just the way of her parents not understanding how to fully grasp the diagnosis.
Right.
But with my mom, like she really took charge and like, okay, I need to understand this to help Sarah, like make her healthier and make her like understand what she's going through, but also understand that there are rules to certain things. And like, it's not just a free for all.
Yeah.
Cause there's been times where like, this is where the sister thing comes in, where I would leave to go to school and she would end up in my bedroom eating the snacks that I had in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So we'd be like, okay, like Sarah, like, yes, if you want Oreos, you can ask for them.
Yes.
But don't go into my room and steal the whole box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really interesting to see how my mom really took charge to getting Sarah the help that she needed when she didn't have it necessarily the whole time of her upbringing.
Sure.
But then again, I wish I had more of the tools and knowledge. Like I wish my mom like talked to me about it.
Yeah.
Just one day, my mom's like, "Hey, Sarah Jane's moving in with us." I'll be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like I didn't have time to process that.
Sure. And why is this other adult moving in?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And like I've met Sarah Jane before. Like she's family, of course. So like I've seen her on like holidays, family things like that. But it wasn't like an everyday 24/7 thing. Having to share a bathroom with her, having to like share the kitchen with her, having to like work around different schedules and doctor's appointments with her. And like, yes, I was in high school, so I wasn't always the nicest kid. I had sass and attitude.
Yeah, you're a different person, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So like like now growing up, I'm like, oh, that's why Sarah reacted in the way that situation happened, or that's why Sarah did this. And it kind of, now that I have the personal experience with William and now Maisie, it's like, okay, now I'm understanding where she was coming from and a different perspective to everything as well.
Hey, it's Matt Garrity from the Autism Resources Kawartha podcast. I want to tell you about one of my family's favorite things to do in Kawartha Lakes, the Crazy Creative program at the Kawartha Art Gallery. It's totally free, open to all ages, and every Saturday the gallery turns into a space where you can express your imagination with model magic. I've taken my kids countless times, and we always walk away with big smiles. I've also talked to artists on this podcast who are autistic, and I love how a program like Crazy Creative makes creativity accessible for everyone. Join in any Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Kawartha Art Gallery. You can find out more by following them on social media or visiting kawarthagallery.com. You'll love it. How old was she when she got diagnosed?
Well, I was in high school when she moved in. I was probably grade 9 or 10. I don't want to age myself.
Yeah.
But
she was like late 20s or in her 30s?
Yeah, she was probably in her 30s when she moved in. And that's when she did like the adult, like the full psychological.
Right.
She did the full thing.
Yeah.
And even with adults, it's not covered. So my mom did have to pay a hefty amount of money to get that diagnosis for an adult.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was probably her early 30s, mid 30s, where she did get the diagnosis.
What did you see any changes in her after she was diagnosed? Or like mid to late life?
Yeah, when my mom...
Not late life. I shouldn't have said that. She's in her 30s.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like when she finally was able, like when she had her own bedroom, she had her own like routine and structure, and we gave her more structure.
Sure.
Which before she was just kind of doing whatever she wanted, which yes, you want to have that like independent life.
Yeah.
But like mom's like, okay, you can't always do everything just the way you want it. Like there's rules, but that's also to keep you safe.
Sure.
And there's been times where I remember 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, I would see Sarah do something, and she started getting into sports. She was playing like softball and baseball and soccer, and she had like a bowling league, and you could see her happiness just excelling. Like she was so excited, so happy, more social, always wanting to talk to people, always wanting to hang out with people. Which before she was just like, I want to be in my room watching TV, eating snacks.
Yeah.
That's all she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But when my mom took care of her, she went to therapy. She got to talk to more people, and she was actually able to hang out with people like her.
Sure.
So she knew, like, okay, I'm not just this random person. Like, this is like, oh, I'm different.
Yeah.
In a bad case, she's like,
Sure.
oh, there's actually other people out here
Yeah.
who are living with autism like me.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see the change of like when Sarah first moved in with us to like a year later where it was a completely different person.
Yeah. Probably explained a lot to her, and not to speak for her, but
Yeah.
she was probably called a lot of names.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that diagnosis probably helped her recognize, like, okay, I'm different and I have challenges, but it's explained.
Yes.
And that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be really interesting to talk to her, because I'm going through this with my son now,
Yeah.
who is 10 years old, and he's very aware now that he has autism and that he's got certain challenges and different needs, and he's struggling with that.
Yeah.
Like, he's mad about it a lot of the time, and he's upset, and there's a lot of emotions. It's almost like he's grieving the person that he maybe expected or wanted to be.
Absolutely.
And he's not around a lot of other autistic people.
Yep.
And in a way, like, almost feel inappropriate saying this, but I think he doesn't like autistic people.
Yes.
And he doesn't want to be around them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see himself like that, or there's sensory issues with it as
Yeah.
well. So then he's going through that pretty
Yes.
seriously
Yes.
right now. And sorry, that just made me think of
No,
what your
but
aunt was
it
going
makes
through.
sense.
Yes.
'Cause, like you said that he was 10, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And my oldest is 9.
Yeah.
So he always knew that he was different. Like growing
Sure.
up, there was always times where you could tell that he was struggling. Struggling in his schoolwork, struggling in social life. You
Yeah.
can just tell. And he didn't know like the background of me trying to get the diagnosis, but
Sure.
when we did have that conversation with the psychologist, with all the doctors, like we had, like, it was all through virtually with like the feedback session is what they called it.
Autistic people love virtual meetings too.
Right.
It's a mess.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started with virtual things.
Yes.
You had to do kindergarten
Yeah.
virtually
Yeah.
with COVID. But
Yeah, that was the same. So yeah, they're basically the same age. Yeah, so we went through the same things, right?
Yeah, but there's like William wasn't around a lot of kids that were autistic.
Yeah.
So when we finally gave him the diagnosis and we tried to explain it to him, even the psychologist tried to explain it to him, like the basic terms or like trying to
Yeah.
explain it to him. He's like, okay, but it wasn't really grasping it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how do I explain this to him? How do I get him more involved in any community to like explain or show him that it's not a bad thing? So it's not. And people get that misinterpretation. Like, oh, if someone says like, oh, like if you know, like tell people like, oh, my son's autistic.
You get the
Oh, yeah, you get the oh, and you're like, well, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just I'm explaining to you that he might not cue into certain cues that you're giving him, whether it's your tone, your facial expressions, the eye contact. He might not read into that the way that you want him to.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing of like, oh, he's different, or oh, like this is going to be like a terrible experience or like a conversation. It's like I'm trying to like get you to look at him as his perspective. Like, hey, if you're going to have a conversation with him or you're going to interact with him in a certain way, this is why he's going to react the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the interactions that I have with William are amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a great kid. You're smart. You're fun.
Yeah.
But then there's times where him and I have interactions where we clash. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to answer this. Ask Mama J. Which is really funny. But yeah, like there's times where William will come home from school and you can tell that he's very angry with himself.
Sure.
That he's not up to par or at the same level as ever. Because all kids are different, whether they're neurotypical or like neurodiverse. Everyone's different and they learn differently. But with William, he has a severe learning disability as well. On top of being autistic, he has very severe ADHD as well. So he has all these challenges where he's like, I suck. Like he said, he's like, Mom, I'm really bad. Like I'm a bad student. I can't do this. I'm not smart. No one else likes this, so I'm going to rip this up. And I'll be like, okay, let's take a breath here. Why are you feeling these things? How can we just lay these out like piece by piece and figure out where this is coming from? And we learn stimming mechanisms, trying to figure out like you're not dumb, you're not any less than any other student in your class. You just have a different way of learning and understanding the things that you're being taught.
There's so many big feelings right now.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he's dealing with everything you just mentioned, but
Yeah.
puberty's coming up. Teenage years are coming up. That's difficult for any person.
Yeah.
And then you're throwing in all this self-doubt and
Yeah.
confidence and autism, ADHD. It's a lot.
Yeah, and with him now that there's four kids between myself and my partner, he's the oldest out of all four.
Sure.
So it's like 9, 6, 5, and 4. It's a very small gap of ages, so it's very chaotic in our house. But he's the oldest.
Yeah.
So you can see sometimes when all four of them are playing, and he is trying to join in on the type of play that they're doing. And if he sees one of the younger ones doing something that he wants to do but can't, he gets that like, oh, why can't I do this? I'm older. I should know how to do this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I used to have that issue all the time. Like where I grew up, I have ADHD as well.
Okay.
I've also grew up dyslexic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've also had to deal with learning, okay, why can't I do this if she can? Why can't I do this if he can? Like I should be able to do these things. Like my fine motor skills, it took me a long time to figure out how to do certain things or use certain utensils.
Sure.
When other people are like, oh, I can do that, no problem. It's like second nature.
Okay.
So when like William was like, I can see his brain, like he just stops and he watches the other three kids. I'm like, William, like what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm just bored. I'm like, or I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to like worry me, or he doesn't want to like
admit that this has gotten too difficult.
Yeah.
But we see it. I see that with my son all the time with sports and games where something just doesn't go the exact way it should, following a rule, spoken or unspoken, and he's done.
Yeah.
And we not try to avoid the meltdown, but hopefully it doesn't become a meltdown.
Yeah.
But we see a lot. We started playing Monopoly a lot all of a sudden. And he loves it. But there's some nights, and I'm really proud of him, where he's like, I'm not doing this tonight. I don't want to play.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say, but like we know kind of why. And like honestly, thank you for honoring what you're feeling in your body. And that makes everything a lot better.
And honestly, with William, he's a very artistic, creative boy. Like he is very vocal of what he wants, which took a lot of time for him to get to that point, which is amazing that he's actually becoming more comfortable expressing himself. Even like with his gender, with his how he just wants to be present to people.
Yeah.
We went through that for the beginning of the year of him going by a different name. I'm like, you know what? Express yourself. Like if you want to do it, go for it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, that's fine. But at least you are in that safe space
Sure.
to do what you want to do and be who you want to be. And then like even now, like video games, like yes, he has to now fight for a game controller with 3 other siblings instead of just the one.
Yeah.
But there's times where he's playing Minecraft with his younger brother Caden and Mama Jay.
Yeah.
And you can see that he really wants to do something to like Caden's village or Mama Jay's village. Like, hey, can I do this? Can I do this? And they're both like, no, don't destroy it. Don't do this. Don't do that. And
I play Minecraft, so I totally relate, actually. It's like we've actually had to rename the worlds where it's like dad - alone.
Yes.
Dad - family. And we were all allowed like an alone one that nobody touches, and then one that we all are allowed.
See, Mama Jay has now created new things now. So like when they create a new world, like Jamie will actually create her building completely like off the grid from Caden and Williams, but she will build it from the inside out with no door.
Yeah.
So they can't enter it.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good.
Like I remember walking into the living room, I'm like, where's your door? She's like, I didn't build one.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's like, it's for the kids because they keep on destroying my walls.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and then with William, with like the meltdowns, they have definitely happened where he just like lays on the ground and just cries.
Yeah.
It's not usually like screaming all the time. Sometimes it could just be like him going up the stairs.
Yeah.
And you can tell just based on like how he's going upstairs, if he like announces it or doesn't, or how he's fiddling with something that you can tell like something's about to happen or his emotions are in a heightened state. And now I never used to be able to notice those things.
Yeah.
But now that I've had the diagnosis, I've been doing the tools and the research of how to adapt.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I can see that you're fidgeting with that a lot more than you usually would. Or I see that you're tugging on your hair more or your clothes more. Like, what is happening? So I'm like, hey, buddy, how are you doing? What are you feeling? What can I do? What do you want to do? And I don't ask him like all those questions at once, because that's, again, like a lot of information getting thrown at you.
Yes.
But sometimes I'll ask him like, how's your day? He's like, I don't want to answer questions right now. Fair.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's an awesome answer too.
Yeah.
It just tells you exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah. Because people don't realize, like, yes, like kids that are neurodivergent, like with William, he's going to school with all these things that he has to focus on and try to learn at the same time. And he's already, like, he's kind of beating himself up because he's not at the same level as his peers.
Yeah.
So he's using the max, like, mental, like, ability to just focus and get through the day at school.
Yeah.
So when he comes home and I'm just, like, bombarding him, like, with more questions, that's not going to help.
No.
So I'll be like, I'll, like, get him into the car and I'll see what he does. I'm like, hey, buddy, how are you doing? And, like, he'll be like, good.
Yeah.
And I'll know based on that answer, like, okay, that's all I'm going to do right now.
Yeah.
But if he says good and continues on the conversation, then then I know he actually had a decent day, and I'll ask about it. Like, what was your favorite part?
Yeah.
I'll let him continue the conversation, or let him continue on with the topics that he wants to talk about. I'm not going to force him to talk about it when he was dealing with everything else.
He's masking probably all day,
Yes.
right? And just trying to get through his day.
Yeah. And I think that some of his masking has come from me as well, because I tend to mask a lot. And it's funny because when he got the diagnosis, I remember they do a feedback session with just the parents, and they do a session with William. And I remember the one with me. His dad wasn't present at the time, but I remember sitting at the desk, like, on the computer, and I'm like, well, I do that. And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay. And then we continue on. I'm like, okay, but that's not the same. Like, 'cause I do that all the time, or I do that sometime. Like, that's normal. And they're like, no.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay. So I understand, like, and he's learning from me. Like, there's times where I tell him, like, I'm like, you know what? Sit down. Like, you've done a lot. Your body's been through a lot. You've had a rough day. Just sit down. And then I have, like, Lucy, who's 4, and Jamie, like, yes, Mom, sit down. You've done a lot today.
Yeah.
So I have to learn to, like, actually follow my own instructions sometimes, because, like, masking can be a big part of it, and you don't realize how tolling it is until the end of the day, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, I think I've learned a lot the last couple of years about listening to myself more and listening to my own body and feelings more by helping him talk about that, and then being more in tune with, like, oh yeah, I actually am okay just not doing anything right now and resting.
Yeah.
Because that actually is achieving something too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you think you've changed as a parent since the diagnosis?
Yes, honestly, 100% I have. Leading up to the diagnosis, I already knew that he had the diagnosis. It was just a matter of getting it, to get the help that he needed, especially with school. So when I first got, like, I kind of saw the signs early on, like when he was an infant almost.
Like 18 months even?
Yeah. And then his daycare kind of flagged it to to me a few times. And I kind of just brushed it off.
Yeah. What did they say?
They just kind of noticed, like, hey, like, he's doing, I forget what the actual term that they used, or one of the things, like, the way that he was playing.
Okay.
Like, he was doing a lot of, like, solo play, but also he wasn't playing well with others. Like, he would have, like, he would want someone to play with him. Like, he would always want someone near him, and he would be playing with cars, and he would have them in a certain way. So when he wanted the person to play with him, they would take the wrong car or put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And he would lose his mind. And then there was times where they would try to, like, play, like, kitchen. Like, there's always, like, a little kitchen set up in daycares, and he wanted nothing to do with it. Or he would have different rules or a different way.
Right.
It wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm baking this, or I'm pretending to do the dishes. It would be this elaborate scheme of things.
Yeah.
And they're like, have you thought of this? I'm like, no. Like, that's what he's been doing since he was little. Like, that's just how he plays. And they're like, no, it's very different compared to the other kids. I'm like, okay, well, there's 15 other kids in your daycare. Like, how different can it be?
Yeah.
And then we switched him to, when we moved to different locations, he was in a private school. He went to, like, a monastery school to help him kind of, because after kindergarten with COVID,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to force him to sit in front of a computer screen 5 days
Yeah.
a week with kindergarten. So
Yeah.
I knew he was already behind at that point. So we moved him to Montessori school. And they also mentioned, like, hey, we're seeing some things with, like, the social cues, his behavioral issues. Like, sometimes he can go from 0 to 100. Sometimes he doesn't. When he gets to the heightened state, it takes him a longer time to calm down and get to it. And he was also very delayed in, like, potty training as well, which I know, like, kids develop in different ages. But
Sure.
with him, it was only recently where he was actually fully potty trained. And again, he's 9 now. So when you put all these things together, and also back then when I was still with their dad, he's like, oh no, he's fine.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in the healthcare system. He didn't like going to the doctors. He didn't believe any of the medications. He didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
He didn't want to listen to anything.
Sure.
So when I was saying, he's like, no, I don't believe it. I don't get it. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So when I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to take him to the doctors to explain the concerns that the schools have. You can either come with me or you don't. Like, I want my kid to succeed however way he can. So finally, there was one point where, like, the teachers had a meeting with all of us, like, both parents. And he's like, you know what? Like, I guess.
Oh, interesting. Good for him.
Yeah. So it did take a little bit.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like, if you don't see the signs and if you haven't been in a world with neurodivergent people,
Sure.
you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
So with him, he's like, he's never experienced it before.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
he was like, oh, I don't need to do this. He doesn't need this. He's fine. Well, he'll be fine when he grows up.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me to, like, advocate for my son, but also not clash with him as the other parent.
Yeah. I was the same way, and I believe, like, everybody has an ego. I have an ego. You have an ego.
Yeah.
So when somebody says something might be wrong with you and your kid, you're like, no.
Yeah.
No chance. Not listening to that.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about this until right now, but I wonder how many more diagnoses we would see if parents got out of the way a bit more.
Yeah.
And put that ego aside sooner.
Yes.
And I was the same way. Again, not critical of your ex-partner at all, because I was the same way. And remember when he was in school and it was, okay, do we get him diagnosed? I'm like, what's the point of getting diagnosed?
Right.
Like, if he has autism, that's fine. And we can, like, treat him not a different way, but, like, we now know that those are, like, the obstacles and hurdles that he has and everything. And then it was explained to me, like, okay, there's a lot more help you can get. And I'm like, okay. And now on the other side of it, like 3 years later, I've completely changed my tune about being diagnosed versus not, or not ignoring it, but just getting that diagnosis changes so much.
It does. And you don't realize how much it does until you're actually in it. Because like when, again, like I had an ego. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I've been around people that have autism my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not William.
Yeah, William's
Like,
perfect.
I even brushed it off.
Yes.
Like, no. Like, I play with car. Like, I play with,
Yeah.
I have a certain way of, like, organizing my chocolates. I have an idea.
Yeah.
Like, I do this. Like, no, this is fine. Like, shh. Like,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
My wife's sister's son,
Yeah.
and also my nephew, has autism.
Yeah.
And I always thought at first my wife was bringing it up because she was like, that was her world.
Right.
I'm like, you're overthinking
Right.
it. You've seen this, so you're making too many connections.
Right. Yeah.
And she makes a lot of connections
Yeah.
with lots of things.
Yeah.
But that one was like, I think you're overreacting.
Right.
Now in hindsight, it's like it's clearly obvious.
Yeah.
And all these signs leading up
Yeah.
to it. But
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like, leading up to it, and, like, I ended up getting his diagnosis privately,
yeah.
which is a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
but it's also it's a very stressful experience, and it's not for the faint of heart, for sure, because there's a lot of hoops that you got to jump through, and there's a lot of questions you got to answer, and a lot of people you got to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, I remember he was on the list to get it covered, like, through,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, it's 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but he's already 5, 6.
Yeah.
He's already in school. He's already struggling. The schools are not going to do anything until I have this diagnosis on paper,
Yeah.
which I think is absurd. But that's a whole other thing.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to figure out how to do this. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. So I ended up going privately. And I remember the first appointment was just myself, his dad, and it was all, again, virtual for the first little bit. It's just like a parent interview, getting to know us as parents, like getting to know like the birth story. And then also like, and then all of a sudden we get this like 20-page document to fill out about William. I'm like, this is intense.
Yeah.
And it's intimidating because you have to nitpick. Like you got to literally nitpick everything that your son's doing. And it feels terrible doing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm doing this to help him, but I feel terrible saying like, oh, he's doing this. He's doing this. And
you probably want to explain everything. Like, yeah he does that, but he's really nice and really smart and all these other things.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And it was difficult. Like, but finally they got his diagnosis in August. And as soon as we got it, we put it on paper, got the school. Now he's doing a lot. He actually likes going to school now.
Oh, good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah. They actually have a lot of things going for him. He's actually allowed to leave the classroom whenever he wants. He'll just tell the teacher, like, hey, I need to go for a walk. And they'll call the EA.
Awesome.
They'll get him. They'll go for a walk. He has a device now.
Okay.
Because he has some speech delays and speech problems.
Sure.
So he actually has a headset and a device where he talks into it and it'll type it out.
Oh,
and then
cool.
also all of his tests that he does is all electronic. And
Awesome.
they'll read it out to him because he doesn't know how to read right now.
Okay.
So there's times where he's doing tests and he's like, I don't know how to read. And then his teacher's like, no, don't worry. Like I have your test here. Once everyone else is settled, you'll come up with me and I'll read out the questions to you.
Yeah.
And then she'll write out the question. Like he'll verbally answer it instead of having to write it down, which is it's really nice.
That's amazing. You must feel so happy.
Yeah, because he'll come back. Like there's times where he'll come home like, hey, I did a math test today. I'm like, how did it go? He's like, I think I did really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which if you asked him a year ago, he'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Montessori going into the public school was tough?
It was tough.
Yeah.
Yes. I think what made it a little bit tougher is when he was in Montessori, they held him back. They did their grades are a little bit different.
Okay.
So it's like CASA 1, CASA 2. It's different how they schedule it.
I didn't know
guess.
they had grades in Montessori.
Yeah.
I was like heart, dove, sunshine, but
Yeah. The grading system's also different with Montessori, but when he switched to public school, we did it actually in between grades. So he was technically in kindergarten in Montessori, but it was actually the public, it would be grade 1. And I tried to ask the grade school if they would let him continue at an SK level, and they said no. So he went from September to December doing SK work, and then going from the public, like going into grade 1 at a public school, he's now doing grade 1 level work.
Yeah.
So that was an adjustment on his own, not necessarily like the school itself, a completely different school, different people, different teachers, but also learning like, oh, I haven't learned this stuff yet. And now I'm just being told to do it. And that's also when he didn't have a diagnosis. So he's like, I don't know how to do any of this. And that's when you could see his anxiety getting worse and his confidence just going down. Like he was like, I'm not smart enough. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to go to school. It was a nightmare to get him to school.
Yeah.
Because of the change. And then eventually he's like, you know what, Mom, I actually have a friend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's when your kid says that they have a friend, it's like, you have a celebration.
Yeah.
Like with my youngest, Caden, he has friends all day, every day.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, I'm playing with this person. But like when William comes home, it's like, hey, I played with this person every day this week. You're like, nice.
Yes.
Like, tell me more.
Yeah. Totally different. And Caden's like a totally different kid.
Yeah. Caden is...
Sporty?
He's sporty.
Okay.
He's very outspoken.
Yeah.
He definitely... I can tell that he is... he definitely has a little bit of ADHD. I know he's probably on the list to get tested.
Yeah.
But he's also dyslexic. I can see it.
Sure.
From when I was a kid, exactly to a T, how I used to spell my name. He's spelling his name the same.
Interesting.
His numbers are backwards. His letters are backwards. Like, it's like, oh, buddy.
Super side quest, but you might appreciate this because of your ADHD. Tell me a bit more about dyslexia.
Yeah.
Like what's it like? This could sound silly.
No.
But just teach me about dyslexia.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know a lot about it myself because I was never taught to cope with it. I kind of had to do it on my own.
Okay.
When I was in 4th grade, I remember, or I was in kindergarten, even like, yeah, going back to kindergarten, it started when I knew I was different and I knew people were going to say that I was different from the first day because I'm left-handed.
Right.
And back then,
You were a witch.
yeah, they tied my hand behind my back.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I was just kidding.
No,
I'm 38. You're probably younger than me. I can't imagine them tying us up at that age.
Yeah, they would hold my hand behind my back
Holy.
to try to make me write with my right hand.
Pretty sure that's illegal, but
Now, I'm hoping now it is.
I think it was then back then too. But
But even then, like, and then kind of growing up, I kind of already had this growing up of, oh, I'm already different. And then I remember one of my tests, I remember they put a timer on, like a little, like a clicker time thing. Like, we have 10 minutes left, right? Whatever is in your brain. But all I could hear was the ticking sound of the clock.
oh wow, yeah.
So my test literally had the word tick, tick, tick on every single question. And then there was one point about a week later, my mom got called in and there was a couple assignments like on the desk. I was probably, grade 4, grade 5. And all my letter E's, all my letter S's were backwards. My name, when you look at it, looked normal. Like it started with the A, ended with the Y. Like it looked normal on the page, but every letter was mirrored. And I would start it with the Y.
Oh, interesting.
But learning that, I think I learned that because of my left-handed. When you write, you smudge ink on yourself.
Yeah.
So I would start with the Y, and then the E, then the L, then the H, and I would go backwards. And they're like, I think she might be a little bit dyslexic. And I was like, oh, no, she's just doing that to, like, help her write, and it makes her penmanship nicer, and she's trying to, like, vouch for me. Like,
She's the ego in
again,
the way. Yeah.
like, oh, she's fine. Like,
Ashley's perfect.
yeah. And they're like, no, I think she, like, not necessarily a bad thing, but, like, you might want to get her tested, or at least... But I don't think I was actually ever tested. I don't remember seeing many doctors regarding it. I don't remember having any type of one-on-one interaction where I'm writing things down or asking questions. I know that at one point in grade 6 and 7, I had an IEP for dyslexia. So there was times where I had extra time to work on tests. Again, that's also with the ADHD where my brain, I wasn't focused. So they gave me extra time. So I was actually able to concentrate on the words that I was doing or writing. But even like in high school, I didn't have any help with my dyslexia. There's still times where even now where I would like write the word bed on the top of my page so I wouldn't get the D's and the B's mixed up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is it like a spectrum in a way? Like, is everyone different with their dyslexia?
Yep.
So is it, when you read something, is it a word jumble, or is it sometimes just one letter mixed up? Or?
One letter, one word. Like there's times where I could be having a full-blown conversation, and the way that I'm hearing it in my brain and the way that it physically comes out, all the words are
really
in completely different order. And I would say something to Jamie, and I would stop, and she would stop. I'd be like, wait a second. And I would say it again the way that I'm supposed to say it. She's like, okay, that makes more sense.
Yes. Wow. And even when you're writing, you write it differently.
Yes.
Oh, this is fascinating.
And I think my brain, too, where I skip words. So I'll be writing something, and I go to read back on it, and there'll be like a complete word just taken out.
Interesting.
It's where I just like skip it. And I don't know if it's because my brain kind of stops, like, oh, I forget how to spell the word, or my brain forgets how to write that certain letter or that certain number in that way. And again, I work in billing. I work in medical billing. So there's lots of numbers and lots of codes and lots of letters. Yeah. So
are you a controller or?
So there's times where I like today, like I was doing billing and Jamie was like, hey, how's your morning going so far? I'm like, it's the beginning of a new month, which means all the billing. So I'm like, all the numbers look the same to me right now. All the letters look the same to me right now. If you ask me what a certain code is, I couldn't tell you because it's all the same to me.
Wow.
So there's times where I'm like, I need to take a break and I'll like answer the phone 2 times or I'll like send a message just to give my brain that like reset.
Yeah.
Because like the 9s will start looking like 8s and the 0s will start looking like 6s. And I can't do that when it comes to billing because you want to do well. Like obviously, you want your bosses to get paid.
Are there exercises or anything to overcome it, or what comes of dyslexia? What becomes it?
Yeah, honestly, it's something that I deal with every day.
Yeah.
people, when I tell people I'm dyslexic, they're like, oh, no, you're not dyslexic. I'm like, well, it's not something that you see.
Yes.
It's just something that I've learned to deal with.
Yeah.
Some days, I honestly, a lot of the times with me, some of the harder days is when I know that I haven't slept well, or
Okay.
I'm very anxious, or my stress level is higher, where I
Sure.
start to mess up my words or my typing, or like I'm like typing something, or even like a quick text message. I'll be sending something like that is not anything what I wanted to say or how I wanted to say it. And I would have to like click the edit button and re-edit it. And some days I'm great. Some days I'm like, okay, like I actually know how to deal with this. I know how to cope. I know how to like get through the day. But there's days where I physically can't look at numbers today.
Sure.
And I'll just try to find other tasks, or I'll literally just try to get on my day, like start the day, end the day, and just call it a wipe. And I would beat myself up for it a lot of the times, like when I was still learning how to cope with it, even to this day, also dealing with William, or like learning to adapt with William.
Yeah.
So if I already know that he's having a rough day, I'm going to feed into that, and I'm going to have a rough day. So now we're both at this heightened sense, or this heightened state, and we're both clashing heads, and we're like, oh no, today's just going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I got to give myself some grace for that.
Yeah.
But like with dyslexia, it's just kind of like, okay, what can I do to give myself some grace, knowing that I might not be at my best today, but at the same time, like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, like there's days where like, I know I can do this, but right now I can't. And sometimes I beat myself up for it, but at the same time, like, I'm advocating for myself.
Yes. You're listening to yourself.
Yeah.
How does your ADHD affect your dyslexia? Does it? For better or worse?
I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
My ADHD is I am not medicated. There has been times where I've thought about seeing my family doctor to get medication to see. Like my oldest William, he was medicated for a bit. It took a long time to actually get all the parents, like all like the sides, be like, okay, yes, let's try medication for William. But with my ADHD, it's very hard for me to concentrate. And when I lose focus, I can't regain it.
Right.
So when I'm working and I'm actually focused on something and something distracts me, I will not be able to go back to the same task I was at.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fine. Like, again, I'll give myself that grace. I'd advocate for myself. Like, okay, like obviously my brain's telling me I need a break. My mental capacity is at its max. But there's also times where, for worse, where I am not sitting my butt down all day. I'll come home from work and I'll just clean and tidy and cook dinner and clean and tidy and do laundry and do this and do that and grab this for one kid and this for the other. And it's not necessarily like I'm being told to do it or being obligated to do it or being expected to do it. It's just that I physically cannot stop.
Yeah.
I can't stop doing it. I don't want to stop moving. I don't want to stop moving my hands and my body. Like I physically can't. But then everyone's like, oh, just sit down. But I can't. Even if I want to, I can't. Yeah. And it sucks because everyone's like, oh, like I just don't want you to feel bad. Like I don't want you to feel like I'm making you do these things or making you do this. Or I'm like, no, it's not that I'm not going to like hold this over your head or like anything like that. But it does for better or for worse. Like there's times where I'm literally doing everything and Jamie's like, sit down. Yeah. I'm like, I love you and I want to sit down, but my body is saying no. Yeah. Like eventually I will. Yeah. But right now, no.
Do you have anything that like can distract you to get you back on a different track? Like Minecraft, video games, reading, or
I'm trying to get back into reading. Yeah. I used to read probably a novel every 2 days. Like I would and it's funny because with dyslexia, I used to hate reading. Sure. I was really bad at reading when I was growing up. Yeah. I thought I was going to grow up not being able to read to that point. And it was just like, no, I actually have to read to my level. Stop trying to read books that are above what I'm able to do. And eventually I'll get to that level. But again, I'm not like everyone else. So I started reading more books that I wanted to read and genres I wanted to read. And it got me really hooked. I stopped, obviously, recently. I stopped doing it because like life got really hectic, really busy. I ended up just recently moving. Like things went up crazy. But I even mentioned to Jamie and our friend Haley that I'm like, I really want to read again.
Yeah.
Like, what are some good options? Like, Haley's like, hey, I actually have this book on ADHD.
Sure.
I'm like, yes, let me borrow it.
Yeah.
But like, reading really helps. At the end of the day, like, I know this is funny, but like, at the end of the day, when I'm actually willing to sit, I'll drink tea.
Oh,
Tea is a
nice.
very big thing that I find really calms me. It could be any type of tea.
Yeah.
But just the warmth, I don't know. Coffee can't do it, but tea, for some reason, it's just the vibe that comes with it, the energy that comes with just a warm cup of tea.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of tea?
My favorite right now is just peppermint tea. Green tea sometimes, but peppermint's the way to go.
That's awesome.
But I have like fidget spinners. If I physically can't move my body,
Right.
like I'll have a fidget spinner, or I'll have like a ring that I just twirl on my finger.
Yeah.
There used to be a point where I would twirl my hair, which turned out I stopped doing that, thankfully, because it was more like a stress-induced twirl,
Okay.
and it ended up having like bald spots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is something maybe as a man I would not know, that
Yeah.
you can just pull your hair out like that. I never would have thought that.
Yeah. When I grew up, again, I was an only child growing up, and I danced my whole life.
Okay.
So being in dance came with its own
Stresses?
trauma.
Yeah.
But again, at that time, I didn't know it was trauma.
Right.
I didn't know
Yeah.
it was stresses. But I would come home and just twirl my hair, and then at dance competitions, I would do my hair, and I would see like this bald spot at the back of my head that we had to try to cover with different hair or like hair clips. And at the time, I'm like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, that's not normal. I
That
can't
was a
pull
lot.
my hair out.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? And with William too, there's things that he does where I'm like, do you like, because he'll pinch himself, like he'll pinch his skin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, buddy, like you're going to make yourself bleed or you're going to like hurt yourself. He's like, I don't feel it.
That's scary too.
Yeah. Yeah. And like there's times where like he does feel it, or he'll be like, Mom, this hurts, kind of a Band-Aid. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you gotta stop picking.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's just like a mechanism.
Yeah.
Like a coping mechanism. Like, okay, like what can we do that's not actually physically hurting yourself, but gives you that same hit of like endorphins
Yeah,
or
yeah,
dopamine
yeah,
that
yeah.
you need. So like we got him like these pick pads from Amazon that like,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, they're like these silicone pads with like beads inside, and you just pick them out.
Oh,
You gotta
that's
dig
cool.
them out and pick them out. And then I bought them for, I originally bought it for my youngest, Caden, because he's a nail biter.
Yeah.
You can tell like, he's very anxious and he'll bite his nails. I'm like, you know what? You need to keep your fingers busy. So I bought these pick pads, and all 4 kids just like dove at them. And now all 4 kids are just picking these pads.
Yeah. Caden sounds like my younger son, Foster.
Yeah.
And like picks his fingers.
Yes.
I pick my fingers, not until I realize like that's like a sign of whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, for myself. Anyways, he likes picking stuff like
Yeah.
in his fingers.
Yeah.
Pick pads would be awesome.
Yeah, and-
I put Band-Aids on my fingers before to
Yes.
just like kind of like stop my, it's like, oh, that's a reminder not to do it. But yeah, the idea of like that pick pad is
Yeah.
super interesting. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy one of those for Foster.
No, absolutely. Because like Caden reminds me a lot of myself in a lot of ways with this ADHD, but also I was a bad nail biter growing up. Like my nails would bleed to that point. Like I was
Yeah.
that was it. I couldn't stop. They like my aunts and my uncles would like try like the nail polish that tastes bad when you put it in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they've tried everything, like putting Band-Aids.
Sounds kind of traumatic though,
Right?
too, right?
Yeah, like so I'm like, okay, nothing would work. I would just bite my fingers until I didn't taste it anymore. Or
Yeah.
I just got accustomed to the taste.
Yeah.
Like it didn't bother me.
No. Yes.
I finally stopped it after I probably didn't stop biting my nails until I was pregnant with my oldest, William.
Sure.
Which like I had William young, but at the same time it's like for 19, 20 years I bit my nails. And again, I know that's a stress thing. I know it's
Yeah.
a coping thing, but like that's not a healthy thing to do. So I'm like, okay, Caden, we need to figure this out. No, I'm like, this is nothing about you personally, but
Yeah.
you're going to make yourself sick. You're going to make yourself bleed. This is painful.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there and like I could see his nails and they're just like red and raw. I'm like, buddy.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your partner Jamie
Yes.
has 2 kids that
Yeah,
are diagnosed?
no, her oldest Maisie is diagnosed.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it like with 2 diagnoses in the house? 2 kid diagnoses in the house.
Yeah, it's very different, honestly. And it kind of opened my eyes even more. Again, every autistic person's not the same.
Yeah.
So like when Jamie and I first started talking, one of the first conversations we had, we're talking about our kids, as parents do, but we like to brag about our kids. But I remember like when I started talking to her, I'm like, hey, like my oldest is autistic. And she's like, hey, my oldest is autistic. I'm like, okay, this is great because one, we are both at the same understanding, like, okay, we're going to protect our kids no matter what.
Yeah.
But also like, we're not just bringing some new person into their lives that has no idea what autism is or what to expect.
Be quite a learning curve.
Yeah.
And it's still a learning curve
It
for,
is.
as parents.
Yes.
But at least you're already on that curve or on the ride. I don't know what the analogy is. But
So like when she told me that Maisie was autistic and like has her diagnosis, I'm like, okay, great. So when we finally actually introduced ourselves to like each other's kids and we actually had that first like play date with everyone, it still was eye opening. Cause like, and I remember being kind of taken aback, like, oh, I'm only like, to me, like I was only aware of how William goes day by day with his with how he copes with the day and how he masks with the day and how he responds to certain cues and how he behaves. And then you have Maisie, who is a brilliant child. Oh my gosh, she is the love of my life. You can like Jamie will tell you, like she's wrapped around my finger. Like I'll say yes to anything she says.
A great connection. Yeah.
But watching both of them come together and like just talk to each other, and Maisie will be like, "Hi, William," and William will be like, "Hi." Like, but then there's times where the summer, like they were just like playing in the water. Like William was giving Maisie piggyback rides, and
that's awesome.
It was so fun to see. But at the same time, at the first beginning, like I remember the first time, I think all 6 of us hung out. I think we had like a family sleepover, like all 6 of us. There was air mattresses everywhere, and it was funny to see them all interacting together. And like Maisie would be like, "Oh, where's William? Where's Caden?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, they're on the couch. They're playing video games." And they're all every single person is doing something very different.
Yeah.
Very different, but they're all beside each other, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially with William and Maisie. They like their space.
Sure.
And sometimes they don't know how to advocate for that, right? Or until they get to that heightened state where things kind of overflow. But they were both on the couch, side by side, with dogs around, and they were just loving each other's like company. Yeah. Which was like Jamie and I were just standing back, like, "Do you see this?" Yeah. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And they both know that the other one has autism.
Yes.
What a great experience you've been able to give them.
Yeah.
Right? Like spending time and getting to know and being family with somebody else with autism.
Yeah.
So they can see what it's like for them and they understand themselves more too.
Yeah. And there's times where Jamie and I will just have random like check-ins or like random conversations throughout our relationship, or even like with the kids or without the kids, where something would happen throughout the week. Like, yeah, William actually reacted that way because this is what happened last time. So his kind of like his walls are up a bit more. Yeah. And then she'll like, "Oh, like Maisie actually doesn't like that. This is what actually she does like." I'm like, "You know what? Thanks for actually telling me that." Because I wouldn't have known that. Like I could tell in that moment that something was off. And obviously I acknowledged it at the time. I told Maisie I loved her, and we went all like our separate ways, or we went on with the day. Sure. But it was just like, hey, like I didn't want to talk to you like in the moment because you were taking care of it, but for future, this is what you do. Yeah. Or like this is what she prefers. And it really helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Because like there's times where William would ask something to Jamie, and with William, sometimes he slurs his words. You can't understand exactly what he's saying, or you can't understand, or he talks way too fast. Sure. Or he stutters. Like he stutters a lot. So it takes him a bit longer to get what he wants out. And I would sit there and you can tell like Jamie's like trying to figure out what he's asking. So I would rephrase it to William, and William would be like, "Yeah." So there's times where like he'll pronounce a word wrong, and I'll be like, "Hey, this is actually what he's saying."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, good to know. I'm going to put that in my like I'm just going to have this in my back pocket."
That's awesome.
But there's times now where I just come in and William and Jamie are just having a full blown conversation about rocks.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so great. Like I said, like you're able to like find that partner, find that community and family now, like in that household. So that's really cool.
And every dynamic, like each parent to each child and each child to like each other sibling is so different. And it's hilarious to see, but also so heartwarming. So it's almost like all of the kids, even the young ones, are adapting to the older ones to make it more, not necessarily to like make them feel bad or anything like that, but also wanting them to be included.
Yeah.
And want like, hey, we do want to play with you, but like this is how we're going to do it. And sometimes means be like, no,
not today.
I want a freezy.
Yeah.
And sit on the couch. But even like Caden, there's times where like Maisie's like, where's my Caden? Where's my Caden? I miss it. Like, where's Caden? Yeah. And Maisie like go in for a hug. And at one time, Caden will just kind of like lean forward or lean back. And Jamie's like, hey, buddy, if you just tell Maisie like not right now, she will listen. Yeah. So like, I think it was like within 2 hours or even the next day, Caden said, hey, Maise, not right now. Maisie's like, oh, like I just want to hug my Caden. Yeah. But she still like respected it. Yeah. She walked away. And then like 3 days later, Caden gave her like the biggest hug ever and made Maisie's day. Like, it was very sweet. And then like Caden and Lucy, they're probably the closest in age, 4 and 5. They're firecrackers. Oh, Lord. They've been siblings their whole lives, basically, if you've watched them play. Yeah. Hate each other 1 minute, love each other the next.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Last question.
Yes.
If there's one thing you wanted people to know about autism, what would it be?
Oh, honestly, it would be that people need to know that kids and adults alike who have autism is not just one set thing. And not everyone who does things one way, another person's going to do the same. So like some people might, like some autistic people love bright lights, love the sounds, love the big loud things. While other people, like some other ones are like, no, that's too overstimulating for me. Right. And I feel like if people learned and adapted to that and knowing like every single person, it's a spectrum again. It's not just this, this, and this, like the 3 categories they give you. Yeah. It's so much more than that. And people don't want to learn. They really don't. Because they get that, oh, I'm sorry. They don't say it, but that's what you get. So if people learn, hopefully from the podcast and what you're doing, people can actually like, oh, okay. Not every one person's like the same. And I need to see them from their perspective. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing. Because it means that you're learning and you're growing as a person.